Hello, everybody.
Hi, everyone. Thank you for joining us today. Welcome to our webinar. Today, we'll explore in detail how an instructor can use TalentLMS to create informative and engaging courses for the users. My name is Theo. I will be your host today. And as part of the customer education team, our goal is to help you get an overview of TalentLMS today as an instructor. I'm not alone, though. I have an expert with me.
Hello, everybody. I'm Mary. I'm the Customer Education Manager. I'm just here to help a little bit Theo with his presentation and help you also deliver successful training. A few things before we begin. You should know that the session is being recorded, so you will all get a copy of that once it's over. And if you have any questions, please send us an email to trainingteam@talentlms.com.
So what's the plan for today? Today we have a lot of exciting things to show you, a lot of features to look at. And we will be able to see how to create courses for online only or blended training, how to upload content for self-paced training, and how to create webinars and instructor-led training units. Also, we will be able to see different ways to assess your learners. You can do that using tests and assignments, how to track the progress of your learners using reports, and how to create and optimize learning paths in order to build connections between your courses and get the learners to take them in predefined order. Of course, this is just a fraction of what we're going to have a look at today. So if you're ready, let's get started. I'm going to switch to the portal that I have here. And as you can see, I have been logged in as an admin. Today, many of us might be already admins who also happen to have created courses or will start to create a course as instructors as well. But also, we will be able to see, if we switch here to the instructor view, how somebody who is only added in the portal as an instructor will be able to see their starting page, their dashboard. The first thing that we need to do is go to add course on the right. We will need to customize the settings of the course. So let's start with the course name. And then we can also choose an image as well if we would like to give our course a little bit more of a personalized feel. So I'm going to choose an image which is a little bit larger. So if I drag the square there and focus only on the content that I want to keep, click and apply, we have just saved the image. You can always choose to have a category, and you can already choose from a category that you have ready-made. Or if I start typing the word test here, you can add a new category as you are on the spot. Let's keep this relevant to our webinar though and choose the webinar series category. In the description, add a few words or short description of what the course is about to give more information to your users. And further, in the course code, you can create an abbreviation. So let's say REM01 for remotes, in order to create a system for the course to be sorted alphabetically based on the code. By default, the alphabetic order is based on the name, but imagine if you have another course that you would like to be displayed underneath this one. If you call this one REM01 and the other one REM02, you see where this goes, the order will be based on the code. In the intro video, this is a great way to add a trailer. It works in the same way as they do in the movies. The user can see a YouTube video or a video that you will have uploaded yourself from your device. And it's a good idea to add one because the user gets more engaged and they have a visual representation of what to expect. In the time limits, you can add a number of days that the user will need to complete the course within. This is a good way to encourage the users to take the courses in the time that you wish them to complete the training. If you want for users who have completed the course to retain access to the content and come back to it at any point in the future, you can always tick this box. In the certification, this is where you can choose a certification template to associate with the course. You see here, I will choose a custom-made one. This is something that administrators will need to have created into the account and settings options. In the templates, of course, you can add customizations about the content, so you can add whatever copy you want the users to see, but this is something that's maybe the instructor might also ask the admins to create for them. No matter what you choose, a custom-made or a ready-made template here, in the certification duration, you can adjust if that will last forever or for a certain number of months, years, or even for a custom amount of time. Let's say that this course needs to be repeated every year. You can tick the box below to reassign the course to the user either when the certification expires, even 1 week before it does, or 30 days before the certification expires. This is a 5-day course, so 1 week is more than fair. And this is a great way if you create courses that are relying in compliance, and if you want to ensure that nobody will be found without a certification while they prepare to renew it. This is the box to tick, and this is the best option. So let's save and select the users. And in this case, you can see here that I will start adding a couple of users, perhaps Amanda as well. I'm going to go to the second page, but don't worry if you don't add all the users that you want in the beginning. It's always a good idea to come back and add more users as you want. Of course, you can have more than one instructors. And in this case, I will look for Mary. And here we are. I'm gonna add Mary as well, an instructor. And don't worry that Mary is already an admin in this account. She can still be an instructor and she can still help me build the course. We will do this course together today. If you want though, an instructor to be able to also take the course as a learner instead of just contributing to it, do not add them as instructors, but switch here their role to learner. But as I promised, it's a team job today, so instructor it will be. If you also want to search for any other users, for example, I want to add Aaron here, just use the search box again and add the user that you want. But let's go back to the course for a moment and let's go to course content to start building the course. Here we have the drag and drop section. This is a great way to save time. We love to save time, and I'm pretty sure that you don't want to waste time in any case. So let me just drag and drop a couple of units here, and I will try to select more than one. And maybe just the PowerPoint and the score file there. We'll see examples of those as we go. I just drag and drop, and any file that we create here will be a different unit. And to complete the course, users will need to go through the units that we create. But maybe the order here doesn't work for me, so I click reorder and just bring the PowerPoints on top and lock my order again. So let's go to the PowerPoints and choose edits. What we want to focus on is the way that people will be able to complete this unit, this PowerPoint. We have a couple of options with the checkbox, which is just a box that people click complete and move to the next step, or with a question. The question is a great way if you want to ensure that people have received all the key information from this presentation. So let's create a question. I'm going to choose a multiple choice one and just type my question there. The statement can be perhaps true, or maybe it can be false. And I will mark the correct answer here and save my question. Just go back and ensure that you have selected the question that you would like to use and save and view. Remember, every time that you save and view, you will be able to see exactly how the course will look from the learner's point of view. So this is a preview of what they will get as well. That's my PowerPoint, and the question will be at the bottom. If I don't answer correctly and submit my answer, I will not be able to move forward. So the user will have to go back, check the content again, find the correct answer, and then submit in order to be able to move to the next step.
And Theo showed you how you can drag and drop files to create units, but you might want to create one unit every time. So let's click on the Add button and you will see all the options you have here. Let's create a video unit now. To create a video unit, you might want to use something you found on YouTube, so you can search with the right keywords and we'll bring you some results, or you can paste directly the URL there. You can use your own video, so now we're uploading one by one our files, or you can record yourself, and if you have a camera, you can save your video while talking to the camera directly in TalentLMS. Or if you want to, you can use a presentation that we will convert to a video. Now, for this example, I'm gonna clone a video unit from another course. I want to show you two features at once. You choose the course and you choose the unit you want to bring here, and you click on the clone button. So I just brought a video unit that was initially created in another course. I can edit, so I can change a little bit the title because you see the clone reference is right there. And I want to choose how this unit will be completed. What we really like is to make learners watch the entire video. So we would suggest to you to use the after a period of time. We have some extra options. So we can click on this button and you can see that we can synchronize the timer with the video and also pause the video when a user is changing his tab. So let's save and preview. With these options enabled, you can see a timer at the bottom of the screen and it won't run until I click on the play button. If I decide to pause the video, the timer will pause as well. So you know, people will stay here. They will watch the video, and if they try to change the tab, again, the timer will pause. And Theo before has dragged and dropped already a SCORM file. Let's have a look at the SCORM file. You know that TalentLMS is compatible with SCORM 1.2 version. For the ones that do not know what is a SCORM file, I'm sure you have seen it somewhere. It's like a video, it's like a presentation, but it's way more interactive with the user. So people may need to click on different objects, move things around, and pass a test in order to proceed and find more content. So to create something that interactive, you will need to have your own authoring tool. So you design your SCORM file there, you export it, you will end up with a zip file, and then you upload it in TalentLMS. We cannot decide how the SCORM file will be completed. It really depends on your design. The only thing you can choose here is whether you want the SCORM file to appear as embedded on the side, or it should pop up on a new window. Now let's preview. We have borrowed this content from our talent library. So I just want to show you how a SCORM file could potentially look. We're using a lot of animation, and it takes just a moment to load all the elements. And the learners will be able to see the course, they can find the trailer, they might want to find directly the test, but it's all about our design, right? So this could look totally different if you want to design this differently. Now, this SCORM file will be completed in a specific way, and that's when the unit will be marked as completed. So we're waiting for the file to be completed, and then we send the message to TalentLMS to mark the unit as complete.
And after SCORM files, if you would like to find a way to bring external contents in TalentLMS, you can do that with an iframe file. So let's go to Add and choose iframe from the list. Let's give our unit a name. And then what we can do is if we have a link, which might be from your own website, an external website, any resource that is available on the web, you can go to the web address block and just paste the link there. Click Embed, and you will be able to see the page populating at the bottom, ready to be accessed from the users. Of course, you have, again, the completion options there, and you can choose if that would be embedded or pop-up. But let's just save and view. And this is what the users will be able to see. It looks like the version of the website that you will find in another tab as well. I can click on the links, and I can also click on other links. So essentially, the benefit of using an iframe file is to allow the users to navigate in any content that you can find outside of TalentLMS as well, without leaving the portal, without spending more time than they would normally spend in this page if it was outside of the portal. And generally, you can see that the users will be able to go through any element that they want in the page and then click complete in order to move to the next units and to the next parts of the content. Now, talking about creating a course and creating a blended learning course, we have seen any type of file that people will use for self-paced training. But what happens if you want to create an instructor-led unit that can either be online or physically and still get registered in TalentLMS? Let's go to Add and choose Instructor-led training. The first thing that we would like to do is give our unit a name, and the unit will contain any event that we create on the calendar. And then let's say that we would like to create an event for Friday. You click on the day of the calendar, and in the name, just add the name of the session. For example, this will be a very early one. And talking of early, let's say 9 o'clock is too early for me, but let's do this. And as an instructor, I can be myself, or I can add anybody else that I want, but I'll keep this one to myself here. We have two types of events, the classroom and the webinar. The classroom is if you want to register in TalentLMS any physical training that will take place. For example, if you want to have somebody attending a meeting in the office, and let's say that the office is downtown, people can easily access it, and you decide to host a couple of hours training there. Or if this is part of new hire training and you would like them to shadow and learn the job from more experienced employees just by spending a day with them. You can choose classroom and you can put the location depending on what that will be. In the duration though, it's very important to drag the slider to reflect the actual minutes or hours that this will take place. It's really important because the reports have the duration as the indication of how much time the users has spent into this particular classroom event. But we're talking remotes, and since remote is the new normal now, let's create a webinar, and I will tick this box if, as an admin, I have integrated with any of the conferencing providers that we integrate with in TalentLMS. So remember, especially for admins, in the accounts and in the account and setting page, you can see that you have different options there for the blue button, go to meeting, go to training, go to webinar, and Zoom. For example, I'm using Zoom. So if you have integrated with any of those providers, you can tick this box as an instructor, and you can create your new webinars using the settings of the integration that you have activated as admins. See, I have Zoom. I can also have another option based on my Zoom, and I can also slide the duration. This is still important, even if it is a webinar, in order to mark the duration of the event. Let's add the session, and this is now marked for Friday morning in the calendar. If I save and view, this is what the learners in the course will see: the details of the session and a join button at the end under the webinar. Don't worry that it looks gray. This is because it's not active yet. The join link will be activated 15 minutes before the actual webinar starts, and it will be able to be clicked from the users. Remember, the users will need to RSVP, and in that sense, they will need to click register in order to attend this webinar. But let's see what else we can do with the calendar.
Now we have created one unit with just one session. So we're basically giving only one option to our learners and they have to register there. But I predict that it's going to be a huge success and I want to help Theo. So I'm going to create also an afternoon session that I will deliver myself. But I'm going to be in the office. So let's say it's going to be in classroom. And I can add the location, tell to the people that I have room just for 20 perhaps. So you can edit the capacity as well. I can adjust the duration. You might want to add a description and we save that. So let's see the difference. Now we have two different sessions in one unit. You see, we have two different boxes. So it's like the learner has to decide in which session he wants to join. If he clicks to the first one, he can only register to this one. The other one will disappear and he won't be able to access the other one. So this is when you want to give him more options. You can create independent sessions, or if you want to, and you prefer to have recurring events, we can connect them together. So let's edit the afternoon session and let's click multi-session to make the connection with the morning one. We save that. And now you can see that we only have one box. This means that the learners have only have one button, they can register. And if they do that, they will be assigned to both sessions at the same time. So this is perfect for your recurring events, and this way learners will not have to register to each session separately. You put them together and they will register to all of them with just one button. Now, if you want to decide which user goes where, you can click to the users, and from the users of your course, you can start assigning them to the different sessions. Now, if you go to the session users tab, you can see all the people that have registered, people that you have added, or perhaps they have registered alone, and they appear here with the pending status. This is because you will choose whether a user has passed or failed. You know, we were in a real classroom or we were on a different tool having the webinar. It's impossible to let TalentLMS know that who joined, who failed the session. So it's up to you guys, the instructors. You have to come here and grade your users.
And also, oh, sorry, go ahead.
Sorry, I wanted to say that you can grade them one by one, or you can save time and mass grade them.
Perfect. And we will see a little bit later as well how we will be able to work with grading our users with other types of assignments or tests. And with that said, let's just jump right into it and have a look at how we can create a test. The tests are great ways if you would like to automatically grade the users. I can go to add and choose tests from the unit list. And this is where we can really create a series of questions that will be challenging the users to understand if they have the right foundation to go to the next course and get a certification for this one. Let's give a name to our test, and I'll call it knowledge check. This is it, right? And if you see here, this is the question that we have from the PowerPoint, from the presentation that we decided to complete with the question before. If we want to include it into the test, let's just add it here. But on the right side, you can create more questions and more types of questions are available. Plenty of those to explore, but let's create the fill in the gap today. You see in each question at the bottom, you have the manual, let's say, the instructions of how you can make this work. In this case, any word that you would like people to be able to fill into these gaps will be put in brackets. So an example of this will be this statement here, where anything that I want them to fill in with and choose which word goes to the right place will be in brackets. What we can always do though is add feedback to the question, to this individual one. So click on the feedback option there and type what you like them to know after they complete the question in the box. And remember, you can also use tags. Tags are great in order to sort your questions in a way that you can easily find them. We'll see in a moment how to use them. But first we have to add them. So I'm just using remote because this is what I'm creating today. So let's save this question and you see that it already appeared as added into the test. If we go to show questions from all courses, you can recycle questions. And there's no point to add every single time the same questions to a test if you already have them somewhere else. And you see, you can click on the tags and you can only get the relevant question just because they have the remote tag there. So I'm going to add this one as well, and perhaps this one too. And then let's move to the test options on the right. This is a great way where you can really fine tune and adjust all the settings of this particular test and make it as difficult or as easy as you want. So in the duration, if you want people to complete this within, let's say 30 minutes, and 30 minutes for 3 questions, that's a lot of time. You can add this time into the duration box. If you want to be lenient or strict, you can adjust this from the pass score section there. I want to make it impossible to pass, so I'll say 80%. And you can shuffle the order of the questions if you don't want them to be in a specific one. Do that for the answers as well. And in the repetition area, this is where you can choose how many times people will be able to take the test. Let's say that you only want them to take it once. Do not tick any option there. But if you believe in second chances, you can always tick the box and you can allow them to either take the test as many times as they need in order to successfully pass the test, or if you want to restrict this a little bit, you can choose to maximum number of attempts, and that can be, for example, 3 times. If you want them to take a short breath between each additional attempt, click on control delay between attempts, and perhaps 2 minutes could be a good amount of time for them to take a breath, relax for a bit, and then go and take the test again. In the completion rules, we can have different options of how people will see feedback and their score. For example, you can decide if they will be able to see the stats of the class, of the rest of the users, the average after the completion, and that will be the average of the points, of the time that it took for the class to complete as well, or not. And you can also limit the feedback that they will get for the answers. For example, you can have them show when the test is passed, failed, or specifically when the answer is correct or incorrect. Let me just select the last one, and because I want to be kind today, allow them to move back and forth so that way they can review any given answers before. If you want to add something in the description, like good luck, for example, you're always welcome to do that, and save and view to see what we have created together. So that's the test. They see the rules, 4 questions, 30 minutes, and let's start it. At the bottom, you see the countdown, and this is the number of time that people will have remaining. Just note that if this time passes, the test will be automatically submitted with as many or as few questions as somebody has answered, and of course graded as that. And then they will be able to select the answers here. So I will do my best to fail the test. This is not a statement that you would hear regularly, but I want to show you how a test that has been failed will actually look. So although this needs a little bit more thought, I will just randomly select answers here, submit, and I'll do this for that one as well, and submit again. So this is a failed test, indeed. You can see the score, the date and time that this has been completed, the correct answers, the ones that I didn't get right. And remember that we said that we want to see feedback of the answers that have not been correctly answered. So this is the one. And most importantly, at the bottom, you can see that I didn't pass this time, and I can try again in almost a minute and a half. I have 2 more attempts, so this is all that the user needs to know before taking the test again. Let's try something different. Let's look at assignments. So let's go to Add and choose an assignment. An assignment is an evaluation method where you would like people to be able to submit content for the instructors to grade and provide feedback on. Let's give it a name. And in the field below, you can always type a question or customize your question as well based on the tools that you see above. Let's save and view. And the most important thing here is how people will be able to complete the assignment. Let's hope that I will be able to save it as well. And let's give it 1 more second. It's getting there. Okay, here we are. So you can see here the question, and below you can see the different input methods that the user will have at their disposal in order to provide an answer. They can have a text reply, upload a file, and this is a great way to return files to the instructors as well, record a video or an audio file. Imagine especially if you're training people in support or in sales, that you ask them to respond to a scenario, for example, with a customer, and they need to provide a video file of them dealing with the situation or just an audio file if that's okay too. Let's work with the text today, and I will copy paste my answer here and send the reply. You see, I am penning the reply from the instructors, and I can see my answer. I can even change it if I want to, but at the end of the day, the instructor will be the one that will need to provide feedback to the user before they will be able to move to the next step. And let's go back to the course and see what else we can do with the rest of the settings.
I want to show you some features that are already there, but we tend to overlook. So let's click on the Add button, and let's see how we can use this section. You can separate the units, you can add sections, name them differently, and reorder them so we can have better visual results, so we can structure a little bit better our courses. And now the learners will understand that we have section 1 and section 2. We can also hover the mouse over the section, and you will notice there the delay availability option. We can drip feed content in hours or in days. So let's put randomly here 4 hours and save that. And let me translate that to you. Now, if a learner gets the course, he will immediately have access to the first 2 units, but he has to wait for 4 hours until the second section unlocks. So it all starts from when I got the course. And we can also add a unit from another course, but this time we can link it. Before we showed how to clone a course, that allowed us to create an independent copy. But if I link a course from another unit, again, I will create a copy, but this time is linked with the original. So every time I edit the original unit, all the linked units will be updated as well. And I'm happy with my course. Learners can find it on the catalog. I can add them to the course myself, and I can also let them know that they can access this course from the mobile app. We have a free app, anybody can download it. They just need to add your domain name, the regular username and password, and they can access their courses from there. If you want to make sure that all the units are supported on the app, click on the three-dot icon and check the mobile app compatibility. So here you can see which of your units are mobile app compatible and which of them could be downloaded for offline use. And if there is a unit that is not supported with the app, you notice that it's not playing properly because it's an app, it's not a web page, you might want to click on Render as Web Page. So what's the difference? What's new with this feature? Well, before, the learner would have to quit the app and open a browser window to access the training. But if you decide from beforehand to render this unit as web page, the learner will just need to stay on the app and we will open that unit on a web page. So they're not leaving the app, that's the difference. We can also check our files. So here you can find all the files that you have uploaded. It's like your library and anybody can download it on his device if you are an instructor, of course. Or if you want, you can share the files with your learners so they can download it. Sometimes we want this to happen. It's not just extra resources we want to give to our users, but you might want to share with them a contract, a template that they have to fill in, and then send it back to you. And now we can combine two different features together, the files option, where we can share the file with the user, and the assignment option that Theo showed you before. We can share files with the learners this way. They download it, edit it, and then they send it back to us as an answer in assignments. So this way you can collect more information, more answers from your users with the templates that you have provided to them. And finally, let's check the rules and path. We can decide how this course will be completed. You might want to allow the learners to choose the unit they want to open, so they can complete units in any order, or if you're building knowledge, maybe the sequential order sounds better. Also, I want to give the certificate to complete the entire course when all the units are completed, but you can change that and say, for example, just pass the test and that's enough. We can change how we calculate the average score of that course, and we can also decide whether we want to have prerequisites for this training. We can design our own learning path. For example, if I choose now training remote teams, it means that the learners have to first complete training remote teams if they want to unlock the course that we are editing now. So working remotely, the course that we're editing now will not be available to them right away. They all have to complete training remote teams first.
And that's a great way in order to help users take the courses in the order that you want. But also you can work with users directly that already attend the course that we create from the sidebar on the right. So let's click on user in progress and see what options we have to work with our users. In the course users, this is where you have the existing users of the course, but you can always click on enroll users. And if you want to add more people, you can just do it from here as we searched before, or I saw Melissa here, so that might be a good person to take the course as well. Let's go back to the course users though, and see a couple of options that we have. When you hover, especially over the learners, you can see that you have an array of the options on the right. Let's work with Kate, for example. The first option allows you to complete the course for the user manually without them having to actually take the course again. So if I click on it, I can complete Kate's course for, let's say, today, the 22nd, or if this is a course that I have created for Kate to take before even I added the course in TalentLMS, or if this was a course that Kate took perhaps in August, let's say, I can choose on enrolled on, and I can add 1st of August as the enrolled date for Kate to be registered into the course. And if that was completed in real life in the 3rd of August, I can do that in TalentLMS as well. And now my reports about Kate will be reflecting exactly the real progress that Kate had before even creating the course, before even creating the portal that we have today. So let's complete this course for Kate. And then let's say that we would like to reset this progress because that was perhaps a mistake. You can click on the reset icon here. And if you want, you can just reset the progress for Kate or reset and remove the certification that she has now received because she completed the course and got the certification associated with the course. Also, you have the calendar here. And remember in the beginning, when we were creating the course, we put 5 days as the time limit that people would have to complete the course within. If, let's say, Kate had a sick leave and took 2 days off, it's only fair that we give her a little extension. Click on the calendar there. And if the course expires, for example, today, we can always just give her 2 more days and save in order to ensure that she has the same amount of time as the rest of the team to complete the course. And lastly, you have the synchronization option. You can synchronize all, or you can synchronize individual users when you add new content into the course after users have already started taking what you have created. In other words, we have a couple of different types of files today. These users have already started taking the course, and 1 week later, we decide that we want 2 more PowerPoint presentations. We can always synchronize all the users so that way they catch up with the latest version of the course, so they have access to the new files. Or for those that have completed the course, maybe it's not so relevant. So we have to go individually per user and synchronize the ones that we only want to have access to the updated files. And after we have already managed the number of users and who will be able to take the course and the conditions based on synchronization and completion methods here, let's go to the reports and see the progress of the people in the course. Of course, it's a little bit early now because people have just been added, but regularly in the reports that you see as an instructor, you can see detailed overviews of every single aspect of the course. Most importantly, you can download and export in Excel, or you can click on the arrow and click schedule, so that way you regularly receive the report in your email. In the overview, you see just a generic view of what's happening. In the users, you can get more details about all the people attending the course. In the tests, you can see exact reports about all the tests that this course will have. SCORM files, you can see reports individually for the SCORM files you have, the same with assignments. And in the timeline, this is where you will be able to see a diary of the course. And this means that you will see registered every single action of the users that have been involved into the course. And most importantly, you can download from the download button there, just the timeline as well. And let's go back to the course. And in fact, let's leave the course and let's go back to the home page of the dashboard as an instructor. You see, we have been talking about courses so far, but on the right side, we have a couple of options. Let's have a look at discussions. Discussions are great ways to create forums, and we have all used forums. We know how engaging this can be, and this is what we want you to do as well. TalentLMS is not only a place to take courses, it is also a place to engage with the rest of the users and with the instructors as well. So this is where you can create topics for the courses that you are using in order to speak with your users, exchange files, and just spark a discussion. I have already created one for remote work, so let's click on the pencil icon there, and you see the settings that you would find if you create a new topic as well. This is where you add the title, and this is where you can add the actual question or a statement that people will need to comment on. You can select attachments here, so you can share any file you want with the users. But most importantly, at the bottom, you can adjust the visibility of the discussion. Everybody can see the topic, meaning that every single learner that is part of the portal and has access to discussions, they will be able to see this discussion and other contribution if they want to. Or you can select specific users to see the topic, and these users can be either part of courses or groups. So if we go on top, you can see that I can choose the course that users will be able to participate in the discussion for. Or if I go a little bit further down, and you see I have a lot of courses there, in the groups, we will be able to use just, let's say, the new hires today, and anybody who is part of this group will be able to contribute into the discussion that we are creating. And post, so that way you save any change that you make. So let's see what they will find if we have a discussion that has already been used a little bit. If I click on this one, you see the topic on the top, and you can sort by older, recent, or most liked. And below you can see each member's contribution. This button might be familiar, so you can always give a thumbs up to the comments of that person. You can reply specifically to this comment, or if you go at the bottom, you can comment, and this is where you can also share files and attachments or write what you want and click comments. We highly recommend using discussions because it's really a good way that people will get to know each other, talk about the training that they have, and get to know instructors and additional resources that instructors might want to share in the discussions as well.
And under discussions, you can see the assignments and ILT option. Well, we saw that before, right? We were inside the course and we saw that there. There is a second place where you can grade all the pending assignments and ILT sessions. After a while, you will have a lot of submissions, so it's good to have this in one place. And all the users that are with pending status, they're waiting for your review, you can grade them. I can edit them one by one and change their status, or I can mass grade them. So I can say that all together they passed successfully this ILT session. I can add a score and some comments as well. Great job. Now, after we have done all of these, I think it's nice to test some things. So you might want to switch to your learner role, and you can do this from the drop down there. Or if you are an admin, we would better recommend you to log in as a learner. It's good to have one test learn account, and if you go to users, but remember you have to be an admin for that, you can log in into the account of that learner this way. Otherwise, you would have to log out and log in as the other learner account that you might have. And now let's log into the course we have created. You can see that on that list, I can see the description, I can see the trailer that we have added as a video. You can see the content there. So this is the summary. I know what I have to do today. I have some files that I can download, and I need to complete the entire course. I have to complete all the units to get the certificate for 1 year. So if I click start the course or resume the course, it doesn't matter where exactly I am, I will start completing the units according to your rules. So remember, we said that we want this to be completed in a sequential order. I won't be able to skip units. I have to follow your rules. And on the right side of the screen, I can see all the units. I can see that there are some units that will be unlocked after 4 hours. And next to that, I can see also the files button where I can download the files that you have shared with me.
And this is a great way to see how an actual learner that is part of the course will be able to experience what you just have created. But let's just revert back to being ourselves as admins. And what we want to focus a little bit more now is the way that you can notify users, especially when content has been assigned to them, when they have been graded for webinars or assignments. And this is something that can be done in the events engine with the notifications. Now you might wonder, well, this is about instructors, but how do admins get involved? That's a great question. Instructors will definitely need to know what kind of notifications can be triggered for the users, especially if the instructors are the ones who are performing the actions that will trigger the notifications. In other words, it's good to know that the instructor can essentially collaborate with the admins to create a notification about grading the assignments or submitting the assignments or even completing a course and even having an alert, let's say a reminder, about an upcoming webinar. Let's click into this and see a couple of options. As admins, you can create a notification, but the recipient can be either the related user, and that would be the learner most likely, or the course instructors. So instructors can work with you a little bit, admins, so that way they can create notifications that will be sent to their email as well. And it's a good idea to have a reminder about an upcoming webinar and have the instructor know as well that, well, you might need to prepare a little bit, just a couple of last minute looks at the content, so that way you are ready for the upcoming session you have. And remember, in the body of the notification, you can have relevant information for the user, like the webinar name, and even the webinar link as well, if they just need to go to that part of the course directly from their email. And let's go back. And I really hope that this was an informative session with lots of features that you might be keen to explore, or you have just started exploring and might want to dive deeper a little bit after the session. Let me go back to the presentation and have a couple of takeaways from this. The instructors must be added to a course in order to manage the course. So the admins need to include any instructor that they want to collaborate with in the course, so that way they have visibility of their course, they can add units, they can create content, and of course they can interact with the users that are part of the course. Also, instructor-led units, webinars, or even classroom events can be held by various instructors, but only one instructor per person. You saw that in action today. I was hosting the webinar and Mary was doing the classroom events. So you can collaborate with your colleagues, but it has to be one instructor per session. And also using assignments, instructors can share files with users within a course, and then users can return them in the same way. Remember, Mary spoke about this workaround a little bit before, and this is a great way to exchange files between the users and the instructors using assignments. So imagine if the instructor would like to share, let's say, an Excel file, and would expect to receive this file in return from the users. This could be done in the file section, and as we saw before, the user can download it and submit it as upload a file type of contents in the assignment. So great stuff there, and I'm pretty sure that you will be able to start creating amazing content in a very short amount of time. As I said, we like to save time, and you too. And we hope that you also let us know about how this goes.
Well, I really hope that we helped you explore a lot of things, but if you have any questions, you can also explore more options from the help button. You can see there that we have videos, we have a quick guide that everybody can download. You can also advise our knowledge base. We have articles for all the features we showed you today, and maybe find nice tips from our blog site. But of course, if you want to contact us, you can send a message to trainingteam@talentlms.com, and we will be glad to help you. Thank you very much for joining.
Indeed, we're really happy to receive your questions, and also feel free to send us feedback about how you find the instructor's experience and how you might also want to add content and how you want to use TalentLMS as instructors as well. Thank you so much. It was great hosting this webinar for you, and thank you, Mary, as well. Have a great rest of the day and stay safe. Bye-bye.
Bye-bye.